Hello everyone and welcome to Sinful Gaming. I hope you're all doing well, I hope you're all staying safe, and most of all, I hope you're all fighting that war against the grey. Today's video, we're going to do something a little bit interesting. Now, it's no surprise that no secret rather, that I've gotten into Warhammer 40k recently. I've been finding my love back for that game system, back for that lore, back for that narrative a lot lately. And of course, it's no secret that I absolutely love Age of Sigmar. For all the flaws it has had over its years, I absolutely love that game system. Same with 40k. I've fallen back in love with it. I've given up on hating on those flaws. However, something I want to talk about, because I do believe these two game systems constantly learn from one another. Even back to the days of Warhammer Fantasy's existence, the games were constantly taking ideas from one another, applying them to the other. Even parts where they would have, same named rules. We would see things like hatred and stuff move from Fantasy to 40k. We would see the magic phase copied over and changed into the psychic phase, and almost carbon copy of it in particular editions of 40k. And we've seen other things go the other way as well. For me, the games share a lot, and there are things that either game does better than the other, and that's what I want to talk about today. I want to talk about 5 things from each of the two games that I like better in each one of them. Now, this isn't to say that they should maybe copy the other game, but they can maybe learn things from the other game and look at some of the things they've solved issues for that are maybe issues in the other game. Now, I will say, not all of these are issues, I just simply prefer one way of the game and how it works. So, while some of these I might have issues with how it works in the other game, that is not always the case, and I'll be sure to sort of talk about that as I think. What I think any true issues are with those stuff. So with that said, let's get cracking on. Let's go into my list for 5 of them for each one of what I prefer from each of the two main game systems from Warhammer Games Workshop. And so, let's talk Age of Sigmar first. What are the 5 things I like better about Age of Sigmar than Warhammer 40k? Number 1, game balance. It probably is no secret. 40k is not in its best balance state at the moment, though hopefully that may come to change with the new edition of the Chapter Approved coming out soon. They do seem like they look like they're addressing certain things. They seem to be getting onto things in 40k a lot better. But for me, Age of Sigmar, every battle tome that has come out so far for 3rd edition for Age of Sigmar has been absolutely fantastic. There's been very few misses, and those that there have been, things like the Achillean King, and all of that have been quickly sort of fixed. Only really Stormcast has had any major outliers of things that are particularly not making the community a little bit happy. In general, game balance is much better in Age of Sigmar. Number 2, simplicity of the rules. Now, Age of Sigmar has certainly got more complex from its very first days, without a doubt. However, playing a game of Age of Sigmar is so much more simple than playing a game of Warhammer 40k, where we're looking at things like battle tactics and grand strategies. They're not having to be sort of known at random. There's not so many and so many varied ones of them. It is a much simpler game system, and I think this definitely has a benefit to it. It makes it so much easier to teach people how to play. It makes it so much easier to get someone into the game easier. For me, simplicity of the rules is just a massive thing for Age of Sigmar as a whole going forward. Number 3, new models exploring new things. This, I think, is one of my favourite things about Age of Sigmar. All the models we're getting for Age of Sigmar are exploring brand new ground, and this is definitely, the benefit of being the new game with a new sort of setting. I am excited for 40k. I think Leagues of Votann definitely has the chance to do this sort of stuff with it, and hopefully we see more stuff. I'm really enjoying what they're doing with Kill Team, bringing out things like the Eldar Corsairs and some really cool unique models for that, along with Necromunda. But for me, Age of Sigmar just does this with every single army, whether it's the brand new Sylvaneth models we're getting, or the Lady of Vines, or it was, the new models we got. It's just the characters we've got, like the new Flamekeeper, the new Achillean Thrallmaster, and stuff like that. I think Age of Sigmar just continues to put out new and exciting models that are exploring new and different fantasy things that we never thought we maybe would see. Number 4, narrative progression. This is definitely a massive one. 40k at a time was really looking like it was going to pull and do something really interesting with how the narrative was going, and it does seem to have stagnated a little bit at the moment, though hopeful after reading a few of the storylines that are coming out in the Black Library books. Hopefully we see this start to move forward, and maybe it is on the back burner with 30k coming out. But for me, Age of Sigmar, the narrative progression, the fact that every single battle tome has some sort of major impact on the narrative, we're just continuously getting more and more story thrown at us, that's making more and more stuff amazing. Really excited every time I see some more narrative stuff coming out for Age of Sigmar, because there's always something happening. And last of all, for me, number 5, damage spilling over. I really enjoy this. Now, I think there's a perfect middle ground between the two, without a doubt. I like that 40k sort of stops with some weapons, but I do think some weapons should spill over. And yeah, for me, I think I do like damage spilling over. I don't like it on everything, but I think there is definitely times when damage should spill over. And I do enjoy it spilling over more in Age of Sigmar than I don't in 40k. But that is 5 things I enjoy about Age of Sigmar over 40k. Like I said, not all of these are negatives on 40k. You know, things like I do enjoy all the different stratagems and the more complex game system that is 40k. It just has its negatives. I do enjoy a lot of the new 40k models coming out. I just like that Age of Sigmar generally has, you know, much more exciting stuff coming out, generally because it's brand new. So let's check out 40k. And so let's talk Warhammer 40k. What do I like better about Warhammer 40k? Well, first of all, number 1, terrain. It has much better terrain rules than Age of Sigmar, which are pretty much virtually non-existent in Age of Sigmar. I do love, you know, the light cover, the heavy cover rules. All of that is really interesting. It adds a lot to the game. We know that particular tournament formats like the ITC have definitely gone out their way to make terrain much more applicable in the games of Warhammer 40k, so I really enjoy that as well. It definitely makes for a much more engaging game where the tabletop matters so much more in the game. This for me is a massive thing I enjoy about 40k that I really don't think Age of Sigmar has any sort of foot on, though I do enjoy the mysterious terrain tables. Number 2, Force Org, and I think this just comes down to personal preference, this one. I like that you can play in these different unique armies, like taking an all-fast attack army, but you lose something for it. In Age of Sigmar, it's really only taking a character that is generally pretty cheap and doesn't mean a lot, or in many cases, it's taking a character you wanted to take with those units anyway that allows you to unlock those particular lists. I like the negative impact that it has in your army list building, that you lose command points and stuff like that if you play these sort of very heavy one-way leaning style armies. I think it's definitely something I enjoy. I think Force Org for 40k is much more interesting to sort of build around than Age of Sigmar. I think Age of Sigmar is, while very simple, very sort of dull in the army list building part compared to 40k, though Age of Sigmar is much simpler in that case. Number 3, shooting and lookout sir. Now, this should come as no surprise that the shooting game has a better shooting system. I like Lookout Sir, how your characters can't be targeted. Age of Sigmar does have a big problem with small characters getting targeted with shooting, though if some rumours are to be found true, we are seeing maybe changes to that. I do like that Age of Sigmar has gone certain ways, and I'd like to see some more things added in Age of Sigmar, like we're seeing the bodyguard rules added to many models to help protect small wound characters. 40k definitely has a very good grasp of how this should work, though, without a doubt. Number 4, piling. Now, Age of Sigmar has something different called range, where models in range fire, and 40k, I think there is a middle ground between the two, and I don't actually think, while I like the simplicity of piling in 40k is much simpler, I think the problem simply lies with coherency. Both games have it in a terrible form. I don't think it works in either game system or the way it's sort of meant to. It allows a little bit better in 40k due to how piling works, but in Age of Sigmar it's definitely not, I guess, functioning in the way we would want it. But for me, I think there is a middle ground between the two game systems, how both pile-in and indeed coherency, which is, I guess, affected by pile-in, or pile-in affects your coherency in different ways. Lastly, number 5, Crusade. Now, we got this with Thondir for Age of Sigmar, but Crusade for me, there is so much stuff you can do in Crusade. There is so much depth to a Crusade system. I really, really enjoy that system. I think it is everything Path of Glory should aim to be. There's just so much to it. It's got so many good supplements. It's got so many different narratives. I love the storylines continuing on from it. They can continue past. For me, it is just a much more deeper system than we have for Path to Glory at the moment. And I'd like to see Path to Glory follow along the lines of how Crusade has gone for Warhammer 40k. But that is 5 things I enjoy more about 40k than Age of Sigmar, and indeed 5 things about Age of Sigmar I enjoy more than 40k. If you play both games like me, what do you enjoy about one game over the other? I'd love to hear everyone's thoughts down in the comments below. And so that is the end of the video. Thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed it, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel and drop a comment down below and let us know what you enjoyed about the video. If you'd like to come chat more with me and other members of our little community here at Sinful Gaming, we've got a link to our Discord server down in the video's description. And if you'd like to help support the channel in another way, you can do so either by joining Patreon or YouTube members or purchasing something from our Ko-fi web store. All of them are linked in the video's description. Thank you all for everyone who chooses to help support the channel. As a special thank you to those people who have supported via Patreon and YouTube members, we'd like to give a special shout out to them all. So a shout out to our patrons Christian Weir, James, Soren, Greenskins Gaming, AJC, Kenny Lowe, Owler and Shop First, Andrew Bowen, Nathan Fee, The Rising Ape, Cure Dynamic, Agu, Anthony B, Anton Nielsen, JJ Austrian, Average Wargamer, Domir, Mark Harvey, James Cater, Dynat226, Derek, and GRP390. A special thank you to our YouTube members, Green Roots Gaming, Kenton Young, Chris Wallace, Ronya, Vinny, Lockloric, The Johnny84, David Ellsworth, Revenar, Wolfric Nick, Broken Chef, Ariana Edwards, Sean Scott, Pink Nico Fire, and Robin Mankiller as well. Lastly, a special shout out first of all to Lady Witchfox Art, who does all the amazing artwork for the channel you see, and to Xmorphic, who has done an amazing job at setting up our Discord server for her and making us have a nice place to content and to chat with all of our community. Thank you all for watching once again, everyone. Stay safe, stay well, and most of all, keep fighting that war against the grey. Ciao for now.